To my single ladies who are between the age of 23 to 30 years, I have a message for you. 5 mistakes that you should avoid at all costs. Remember, these 5 mistakes are the ones that are going to determine of your future, and especially if you want to get married. So what should you avoid? So please allow me to highlight the 5 mistakes that are made by single ladies, and especially at the age of 23 to 30. So number one is stopping living your life. So imagine once you get into a relationship, you stop living you. You start living because of the other person. And remember, I've said a relationship, I've not talked about marriage. You stop being you and start pleasing your partner. That is something that has caused a lot of single women that eventually end up becoming single parents. So, my friend, if you are in a relationship, that is just a relationship. Do not undervalue yourself just because of a person. Live your life. Explore. Identify who you are. What do you like? What do you want? Imagine at 23 years, you've not even figured out what life is. So if you're lucky enough, after high school, by the time you're 24, you'll be out of college or out of university. And you'll still be trying to find out your way around life. So please, don't stop living you at the expense of, just pleasing someone. What I know about men is that they cannot stop their lives because of a woman. Have you ever thought of that? There's nothing like that. And that is the first mistake that most of the single ladies do. Explore, pursue your dreams, get settled in careers, and just be you. If that particular man feels that you are the right person, then they are going to put a ring in your finger. What do you think? They are going to do that. Ask those people who got married before the age of 32, and they'll tell you that they did not compromise themselves for the sake of a man. So just be you. Live your life as much as you're trying to date, to be in a relationship and all that. What do you think? Auntie Mary is here to tell you the truth. Okay. The second mistake that most of the ladies make, and especially after the age of 26. So I'm talking about 26, 27, 28, 29, up to 30 years. They have a lot of expectations. Very high expectations. I call them very abnormal. You can just meet a young lady at 25 years, or rather 26, 27. They'll tell you that they want to get married to a man who is financially stable. And my question is, are you financially stable as a woman? Why are you expecting someone else to be financially stable when yourself, even, you don't have a landing? You don't have any footing. You are just there. Why do you have high expectations? You'll meet a single lady at 30 who talks about dating a man who is driving. Yet, yourself, you even don't understand anything about any mode of car, any make of a car. You don't nothing, zero. Like, you don't have even dreams. You don't have any aspirations, but you have high expectations that I want to get married to a person, who is driving, who has, who is employed, a person who will do this and that for me. All these expectations, who do you expect to fulfill them for you? And yet, you are at zero. My ladies, think and think seriously. And then there's this category of single ladies that are born again. So allow me to talk about this group of single ladies that are born again. These ladies always have a lot of expectations, and especially when it comes to marriages. Most of them will think that when they settle down, marriage is going to bring all the happiness that they have ever dreamt in this world. My friend, happiness does not come easily. It takes time for two people to ensure that their marriage is well built on a solid foundation, and everyone bringing something on board. Most of the time we look at celebrities over social media. When you look at them, they have just posted photos of themselves and their families, and you think that is a perfect family. It is not. That is just part of their best moment that was captured. And therefore, all these high expectations that once I get married, oh, my husband is going to treat me this, or once I'm in a relationship, my boyfriend is going to do this and that. Lower your expectations so that someone else can, like you can, we have someone here at the top and another one here at the bottom. So you can meet somewhere here at the middle and then create a relationship that will eventually lead to marriage. So my single ladies, you know yourselves, lower your expectations. Don't have a lot of expectations that you cannot deliver. I read of a joke somewhere. Someone said that if you want a man who is driving a vehicle, please go where you parked your own vehicle. That is the only place where you're going to get that man of your dream. How would you want someone who has a car yet you don't have? The third mistake that most of the single ladies do, they usually lower their standards, compromising their standards. Single ladies, do you hear me? Do not lower your standards for any man. Don't. Let your no be a no. Don't be somewhere in between, like you don't know what you want. Don't lower your standards. Everything will fall into place at the right time. We have a lot of immorality that is going on in the society. Like nowadays, sex is something that is very common. Like it's very common. Everyone is doing it and nobody cares about the repercussion. And I want to tell you, my dear single lady, is that because everyone is doing it, you don't need to do it. Have some standards. Have some standards. How much do you love yourself as a single lady? There's a lady that I watched her in one of her vlogs, and she was talking about, there's this man, when she was still struggling, she had just started her career, and there was this man that was interested in her. And they agreed one day to go out on a date at exactly 7 o'clock. That is in the evening. And the lady by 7, she was, she had prepared herself, dressed nicely, made her hair, and she was just ready to get out of the house, go get dinner, or just talk, chit chat with the guy over a cup of coffee, or just taking some meal and all that. But guess what happened? By 7:30, the guy had not turned up. By 8, the guy had not turned up. And then there about 10, the guy suddenly appears at her doorstep. And he says that he's now ready to take her out for dinner. Do you know what that lady did? She's called Fumi Demi Vold. So what she did, she decided, not even decided, she had already decided in her mind that she was not going anywhere. And the guy kept on pleading and pleading. And her standards were just there. It is 7 and it is 7. Don't allow people to compromise your standards. Like, sometimes people can convince you, like, this is something that is very common, everyone is doing it. Why is it that maybe you can't try it out? It is not a must, and it is not that serious. Just have your standards. Let your no be no. If you believe in abstaining before marriage, please, my dear lady, do so. Because once you start compromising your standards, then no one is going to take you seriously. And that is what they're looking out for, by the way. You compromise your standards, you compromise yourself, and then they'll just they'll just run away. Because most of the time, single ladies, most of the time men are hunters. In fact, they're hunters naturally. Let them hunt you down. If they really, really, really love you, and if they feel that you're the right person, let them hunt you down. Don't just be, too cheap, lowering your standards and all that. The other mistake that single ladies miss out is on the red flags. Red flags. Please look out for red flags, because what I believe in is that these relationships can lead to marriage. And if you ignore the red flags, there are some things that a person can do. Don't ignore. Like, for example, you may disagree over something, and then someone raises their voice. Suddenly someone becomes so furious. Like, even sometimes you don't understand, is this the person that you've been talking to? That is a red flag. Or sometimes they can just hit you. That is a red flag. Or you agree on something and then they do the opposite. That is a red flag. If you ignore those red flags, they are going to cost you. because remember, they're not going to go away. Maybe you may give out excuses like, oh, he hit me, he did not mean it, it was not that serious. My friend, it is serious. Don't ignore any red flag. We have most of the single men that are out there dating more than one woman. Sometimes you can realize that the person that you're dating has more than one partner. What are you waiting for? Is he the only person that you can just allow, just walk all over your life? Don't allow that single ladies. My dear lady, that is a red flag. And it will be no different. You'll get married to this person, and this person will start frustrating and embarrassing you. So please don't ignore red flags. And then the other thing that I find it to be the most interesting in this conversation, I call it revisiting the scene of crime. Oh my God, excess. My friend, don't ever trust an ex. Don't ever trust an ex. Trust me with that. Exes will come back with a very big reason. Most of them will come back just to mess you up completely. Like we say here in Kenya, to finish you completely. So that is what will be bringing them back if you are really, really, really the best. If you had everything that they were looking for, why did the relationship come to an end? Like, why did they decide to walk away if you are really the best? That is a question that should be here in your mind. So one of the mistakes that most of the single ladies do, and especially as they approach 30, remember after 30, there's 31 up to 35. Most of them, that aspect of frustration starts cropping in. And that is the time when any ex comes back in the picture. Most of the single ladies are going to fall back for them. They're going just to fall in their arms. And it is because of desperation. My friend, there is no day an ex will have any good intention. Never. I have my own exes and I know. They'll never have any good intention. So I'm speaking from experience. I'm speaking from my own experience. I'm speaking from experience that I've seen through other people. So my single ladies, once a person is an ex, let them be an ex. Let them be. No matter how good they come back pretending to be, don't trust them. Never. And I repeat, if you are the best, and if you are enough, understand the word enough. If you are enough, they would not have left you. And because they left you, let them go. Let them go. You just do your own life, my friend. Do not go back to your exes, no matter what. No matter how desperate you may be, don't go back. And then finally, my single dear ladies in their 23 to 30 years, my friend, don't be too available. A call, uko wapi? Niko tu kwa nyumba nimekaa. Can we go to town? You're in. Can you come to my house and do that? You're available. Can I get this and this from you? You're just available. You're too available. When are they going to miss you? Don't be too available. Because men are hunters. Let them hunt you. Who does not want to be hunted? Who does not want to feel good? Everyone wants to feel good. So don't just be too available. When they call you, you are there. When they ask you for any favor, you are very fast to give them the favor that they want. They are going to mess you up. Let them even miss you and look for you. At least you'll have some pride in you. Like you have some value. Eish, single ladies, what do you think? Don't be too available. There's a friend of mine who really cracked me up. She told me she once dated a person who they were neighbors, like they were just living in the same place. And this guy is like, he was literally staying in this lady's house. And every time he wanted anything, the lady would give. Cooking, name them, washing clothes, taking him wherever. She was too available until the guy one day left. In fact, he moved out of that place without her knowledge. She just realized that the guy had disappeared in thin air. And she sat back and just introspect herself. And she realized that one of the mistakes that she did was being too available. She was just too available for this guy. Like seriously, too available 24/7 at his call and beckon. Therefore, my single ladies, please don't be too available. Don't. No matter what, don't. No matter what, do not compromise your standards. No matter what, do not stop living your life. Just be you. Discover you. Explore you. Love you. Be you. Be your number one you. Don't stop your life because of a person. Because the truth is, they'll never stop their lives because of women. So I hope I've made some sense to you, my dear single ladies. 23 to 30 years. What do you think? Do you agree with me? Or probably you have some questions. Please drop your comment on the comment section. I'd love to hear your feedback. My number is there. You can call, you can write me an email, you can SMS me. I love you, my single ladies. And please make choices that are informed. And above all, let Christ be at the center of any decision that you make. Peace.